I'm Larry Dixon, and this is a conversation with First Baptist Church. With me today is Layne Neeper. Layne, it's a pleasure to have you here with us today.
I'm happy to be here, Larry.
Well, we always like to get to know who we're sitting next to in the pews, and today's your turn.
Okay.
So, I always start out with one of the first questions is, tell us about where you grew up and what life was like as a little kid.
We start with what I used to call in the classroom a tater. I can answer this. I was born in Longview, Texas, which is in East Texas, in the piney woods of East Texas. Had a great childhood there, played in the creeks and the woods and had good friends, learned how to fish there, and then my dad unexpectedly lost his job when I was 12, and we had to move to Illinois, and that was Sodom and Gomorrah to my parents because they thought the land of Yankees was where evil existed. We went up there and we found a Baptist church. Hard to believe we did, but we found a Baptist church, and then moved from there after 3 years to where I really felt like I grew up, which was Easton, Pennsylvania, which is right across the Delaware from New Jersey. And that's where I made my lifelong friends. And even there, my parents were able to find a Baptist church 35 miles away from our house, which we drove to. And there I was a youth group of one. I used to sit across from the youth person. It was very awkward. But I had a really great childhood, a varied one, but in every place we moved, I changed in ways that the place kind of influenced me.
Oh, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. Did you have a nickname?
You know, I did not as a kid. My mother did not call me anything, but in high school, I was not a smart guy, but I hung out with all the smart kids, and we were out skiing one day, and one of my friends came up with it as we were going down the hill, and he started calling me the Grim Neeper, and that stuck, and now I am simply Grim to a bunch of my old friends, and I happen to love the Grim Neeper as my nickname, so.
my grandfather nicknamed almost all of his grandchildren. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, nicknames are important.
Yeah, oh yeah. I've got nicknames for my kids. I just didn't get one from my parents. So, bitter, a little.
So, in Texas growing up, what was your dream job?
That's an easy one too. Another tater for me. I wanted to be a forest ranger. So that's what I saw myself doing. We went on a lot of family vacations, went to a lot of national parks, and that's what I thought would be the best.
So, what's on your bucket list? What is it you haven't done that's...
I'd like to see more of Southeast Asia. I'd like to go to Thailand, Bali, other places. But I'm really pretty satisfied. But if I had to put something on there, that would be what I'd say.
So what brought you to Morehead, Kentucky?
I got my PhD in English literature from Penn State, and the job market was very restrictive, so I had to go where the jobs were. I was on the market for 2 years without getting a job, and then Morehead State invited me for an interview, and I interviewed here, and they offered me the job, and we've made a home and raised our family here for the last 30 years, so that's what MSU brought me here.
So, and you like to travel, which you said. Mm-hmm. So, what's your favorite food when you're on the road?
We love ethnic food. I love Indian food, Thai. We like it hot and spicy.
I'm with you. I like spicy food.
Right. Spicy bologna in your case.
Yes, spicy bologna. Fried spicy bologna. Do you have a hobby?
You know, I have fished all my life, and I love to fish, and now that I'm retired last year, I'm getting a little more chance to do fishing at times of the year that I haven't. But really, for about the past 30 years, I've been interested in birds, and I've been looking at birds, but only in the past 5 years has my interest gone to a new level, and we got new binoculars last year, and we saw species that we've never seen because we had the ability to see them. So birding has really become a really great pastime for me, and Carol's even become something of a birder, so it's something we can share too.
Oh, what brought you to First Baptist Church, and why have you...
Coming back to church was difficult. We were both raised in the church. The doors of the church weren't open, that we weren't there when I was young. Same thing for Carol. She was a missionary kid, and her dad is a preacher, so we were raised in the Southern Baptist Church and fell away from it. I've never fallen away from my faith, but organized religion was something that we kind of lost touch with in our university days. And then we had kids. We had our son first, Lowell, and then Hannah, and we wanted them to have the kind of moral, spiritual structure that a church could provide. And then we found Don Mantooth, and Don Mantooth and the members of this congregation brought us back in to fellowship in an organized way, and we've never looked back.
That brings me to my next question. If someone stopped you on the street and said, "Can you recommend a church?" What would you tell them?
Well, I'll say what I do tell people. We would love for you to join us in a place where I think the most important aspect of the church comes through in everything that we do in a service, and it is our love for one another and our love for the people outside the walls of this church. This is a church that loves first. This is a church that does not judge. This is a church that welcomes doubters, agnostics. We have our arms wide open, and I'm proud of that. If you've been hurt by a church, this is the church for you.
So, and the Bible is full of interesting characters. Who would you spend the day with?
You know, I for a long time, whenever I first started going on vacations with my family, I would pull the Gideon's Bible out, and I'd always read the book of Ruth. I think it is Ruth who is my hero. Her quiet courage, her faithfulness to Naomi, it's just so perfect. Her beautiful supplication to Boaz. These are things that that live on for me. Some of those Old Testament stories, and this is one of the few Old Testament things that I can point to that really speaks to me. But Ruth's my hero.
Do you believe in aliens?
I remember when someone asked. Someone asked Alex. Pat Rayburn asked Alex, and he didn't miss a beat, and said his theology would have to expand to include. But he was not. I don't know. It's a huge universe. It seems probable, but I don't think about it. These are things I don't worry about. But I guess I wouldn't be surprised, but if there are aliens, why haven't we got more evidence of it already, you know? So,
is there anything about you that we don't know that you would like to share?
I think people who are a little closer to me in the church know that faith for me is sometimes a struggle. I have my questions and my doubts, but I always keep coming back and always feel like I've got this ground level of this core belief in the God and Christ that I've come to know that won't be shaken even when I do. But I kind of struggle with everything, and so faith is one of the things I struggle with, and I'd rather do that and think about things than just blindly or blithely accept what I've been told, or just not fully question. So I continue to question this kind of faith journey that I'm on, and it changes, and I hope it evolves into something stronger and better. It has so far.
But my last question I've got for you today is, can you define your faith in 6 words?
It is the source of strength.
Excellent.
I'm happy with that too.
I'm happy with that. This is Larry Dixon. This has been a conversation with First Baptist Church, and with me today has been Layne Neeper. Layne, it has been a pleasure.
My pleasure, Larry. I've enjoyed this.
Thank you.